ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Tech Showdown. Today we're checking out the Gigabyte Aorus X470 Gaming 7 Wi-Fi motherboard, and let's jump right into it then with the key features and layout. So of course this supports all AM4 Ryzen CPUs, although most people buying this motherboard will be pairing it with a Ryzen 2 CPU. It supports dual channel DDR4 memory, up to 64 gigabytes of it, and up to 3600 megahertz plus memory. Now you can do two-way crossfire or SLI with this motherboard. It goes into PCIe 3.0 times 8 when 2 slots are used. Has their RGB fusion lighting all over, which is what we kind of have to expect now with all high-end motherboards. Comes with integrated 802.11 AC Wi-Fi and comes with a good little magnetic antenna as well, which is nice. It has an integrated base plate and an integrated I/O shield, which gets a huge thumbs up from me, because if you guys know me, I really hate I/O shields that you have to install yourself. Now it's going with the ALC 1220 codec, the ESS Sabre DAC, and studio grade capacitors, and the integrated audio on this motherboard is absolutely fantastic, so I have no complaints there. Let's go over the layout then, and we'll work from top to bottom. So on the top left there we have the 8-pin and 4-pin CPU power connectors. This is going to be pretty overkill for most people unless you're going to be doing some serious overclocking, so most of you guys will probably be able to just get away with the single 8-pin CPU power connector. Now it's going with a 10+2 digital power design VRM with huge heat sinks and a direct touch heat pipe. This is a seriously good VRM, guys. They've really stepped it up here, so you're not going to be having any problems in this department, that's for sure. Then over to the right of it, you have the CPU fan and CPU optional connectors. Then you have the steel reinforced RAM slots with RGB LEDs going down the middle. Then on the top right you have the RGB connectors and OC button connector beside the OC button itself, which I probably wouldn't use. Then you have your standard 24-pin motherboard power connector beside a bunch of fan connectors, including a pump connector. The dual BIOS switches above a debug readout, which is always super handy to have. Front USB 3.1 connector. There's another fan connector over on the left-hand side beside the left-hand VRM heatsink. Then PCI-wise, you get two PCIe x1 slots, one PCI x16 slot at the top, then a x8 slot in the middle, then a x4 slot on the bottom there. You're also getting two M.2 PCIe x4 slots with heat shields on them, although it's kind of debatable if those are good or not. Then back on the right-hand side, you have 6 SATA 6 ports, which should be enough for most people out there. Then down on the bottom, you have a clear CMOS jumper above the front panel connectors. Then you just get two USB 3.0 front headers beside two more fan connectors, including another pump connector, an EC temp connector, I should say, beside two front USB 2.0 headers and a TPM connector. And then you just get a bunch more RGB connectors, a SPDIF out connector, and of course your front panel audio connections. So let's go around to the rear I/O, and we'll work from left to right. So you have your power and clear CMOS buttons beside the Wi-Fi antenna connectors. Then 4 USB 3.0 ports beside a USB 3.1 Type A and Type C ports. Ethernet jack above 2 USB 2.0 ports. Then you get 2 USB 3.0 DAC up 2 ports, which provides a really clean, isolated, low noise power. This is going to be mainly for the VR guys, but you can still use it for your headsets or any external drives you might be using with it. Then you just have all your standard audio connections there. So let's go over and check on the BIOS and see what it was like for overclocking. So the BIOS, like most Gigabyte ones, is a joy to use. Everything's easy to find, and it's not too overwhelming, which is something that some of them are, that you get flustered because there's just too many options. SmartFan 5 is great. That's fantastic if you want to set up all your fans in your case just the way you want. And overclocking with the Ryzen 7 2700 was very easy to do. Everything's straightforward, and I really like this BIOS. I had no issues with it at all, and really, I didn't have any issues with this motherboard at all. It was just good all round. Which brings us now to the conclusion. So this was my first X470 review, so I can't really compare it to any others out there, but this is still a great motherboard. On pricebuy.co.nz right now, the price ranges from about 480 New Zealand dollars to about $504, so it is a quite expensive motherboard. However, you're getting a lot for your money, so I do think it's worth it. I really enjoyed using it. I had no issues with it, and I would recommend it to anybody. But just make sure you're going to take advantage of some of those features, because if you're paying all that money and you're not going to use them, then it's going to be a bit of a waste. But for the enthusiasts out there that are really going to use them, then you're going to enjoy this X470 motherboard. It is very, very good. Now, I thank you all for watching this video. Please subscribe to Tech Showdown, and as always, I'll see you guys next time.